This is Joe,
Michelle,
Melissa,
and Shannon
with More Than a Sniff, where we talk about everything dog.
from training to nutrition,
from behavior modification to grooming.
from vet visits to dog parks.
From getting to know us to having guests. Today we're going to talk about... Today I would like to really touch base with everybody and give all of our listeners and our current clients a big shout out. And thanks for listening to us today and all of our previous podcasts. Today it's just me, Joe, talking about dog training and just my overall thoughts and some experiences that I've had over the last week about dog training. This morning I went on a walk with one of my clients, and they have a dog that is leash reactive out of fear. And we've been really working on just walking the street that their house is on and finding comfort in that street. So we know where the dogs are at, what's going to happen, the routine of the street, what times things are happening, to help, one, the owner find comfort in being out there and walking. And then two, also to help the dog transfer that to that everything's going to be okay. And so we've been doing this for several months now of just walking that street. And there's dogs for sure. And sometimes there's dogs that come out the front door and there's things that happen in the neighborhood. But what happened today, we're finally to a point where we are starting to walk around the block. And if we get into trouble, then we just go back to our comfort street so the dog can find a settling point if we need to. And today we walked past this house and the lady had her dog out in the yard, and this house is really cantankerous and it's kind of a hard feeling house with the dog really hitting the fence hard when we've walked by before. And so she had her front door open and I thought, oh, I wonder what's going to happen here. And as I glanced, the gate was open as well. And so she was out in the yard and of course her dog started charging us. And one thing that people don't realize is your dog's being loose and out and going up, as you would maybe call it, greeting, is really terrifying for most people. And it's very terrifying for that team, that dog that's built up trust with his owner, and also the owner that's building up trust of the neighborhood and having the confidence to take their dog out for a walk. And so what I want to talk about is with leash reactivity. And leash reactivity is something that is real and it happens a lot, and the dogs may not be aggressive, but when you have something charging you like that, it's very fearful. And people don't know what to do when they get stuck in those situations where the dog you're being charged, you're trying to go in circles to keep the other dog away from your dog because you're not sure what's going to happen. And the most important thing that I can tell you is to tighten up if you have to reach down and grab the collar of your dog and get out of there and create as much space as you possibly can to get out of the situation. And my owner, my client, she stopped and she froze and her adrenaline's running and she's going in circles and I just, I'm trying to keep this other dog from actually attacking this dog. And I had to keep telling her to keep walking, just go, just get out of here, just keep going. And once she kicked in and realized what was being said and that she could actually hear me and get out of that scared mode, once she got out of that dog's bubble, the dog turned around and went back to its owner. And of course, its owners are apologizing and the dog accidentally got out. And I said to her, sorry doesn't cut it. And your dog didn't accidentally get out. He was out with you. And so, be aware of things that are out there. Don't create confrontation while you're out with your leash reactive dogs because you're just feeding into the problem. Get out of the situation, increase your speed, and move on so that your dog can move on. The great thing that happened is because we've been working on this comfort street, is when we got back, which was only 2 houses down from where our comfort street is, we were able to get back and walk that street. And the dog settled back in and stopped looking around its shoulders and trying to see what's going on around it. And it just finally got back into a settled walk. And we walked the street a couple of more times before we ended our walk. And so my advice to you leash reactive people is it's not about how far you go. It's about the work that you do in the small area that you have, and find a comfort street that you can walk and find that relaxed peace. Be out there for a half hour and just walk your street and let the dog get comfortable and let them find that center and find that it's going to be okay. And then maybe turn a corner and you may only make it one house past that corner and your dog's getting amped up. Add that corner to your comfort street so that you continue to build that confidence with all of you that you can take care of it, you know what's going on, and that you can handle the situation. And so we deal with leash reactivity. It's one of the biggest behavioral problems next to separation anxiety and aggression is helping people know what to do when their dog reacts. And my advice is, 1, don't put them in situations that you can't get out of. 2, create space, and create the space that your dog can find comfort in you and connect back to you. And then thirdly, find a comfort street, your street. You walk out and find that street so that you can settle in and that you can be confident in what you and your dog are doing before you go out into this big open journey of the unknown. And set your dog up to be successful in that comfort street before you move on. Again, create space. Don't put your dog in a situation that you can't get out of and can't relax out of. And also make sure that you can create the space that you need to. I hope this was helpful today in those of you that are challenged with leash reactive dogs. It can be fixed, and it's something that we as human beings create in our dogs unintentionally because of other off-leash dogs being out and barrier issues that happen in this living in the city. So I challenge you to take those steps. Holler if you have questions. We're happy to help. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have on leash reactivity. And also, we here in Salt Lake City have a leash reactive class coming up this Thursday at 6:30. Look us up on our social media avenues and you'll see where you can sign up. Have a great day, and remember to breathe while you're training.